Shalom. First of all, let's start off by going on great honor to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to teachers, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, likewise brothers, but know this truth. Faithfully fantasy feeding the sheep and do brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson is titled, Pride of thine heart had deceived thee. And every time you think of the word pride, or the proud, one has to think about Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man. Because according to the scriptures, this man is the most prideful creation that Yahweh Bashim Shai had created. Now, we see video clips, coming from these poor Edomites, they're crying and sighing about the economy, about the high prices, of gas and food, and, basically, their economical status is dwindled down to the level of the people that they hate the most, which are the so-called blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, and Hispanics. But you have these elites, these well-to-do, the in the know, the people that are controlling, the rhetoric and the things that's going on this earth that's causing the chaos. They're living it up. And this can be a fate tester. Why isn't the Lord bringing them down? But as a hopeful elect and a servant of Yahweh Shai, the Mashiach, who the word ignorantly called Jesus Christ, we know that this is temporary. In fact, let's go into the book of Jeremiah 5 and start verse 22. It reads, Fear ye not me, said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. Now, you see a lot of things that are gearing up, these data centers being built. You see this yo-yo effect that's taking place out there in the Strait of Hormuz, where one day they're talking peace talk, ceasefire, gas price might come down by 10 cents. The next day they go, you know what, we're not signing anything. And behind the scenes, the rich people are getting more wealthier. And we know this IPO that's coming up with SpaceX, it's supposed to be the biggest IPO or public offering, ever in existence. And we're going to talk a little bit about Elon Musk and exactly who he really is, and it's going to be both shocking and offensive to those of you who are going to see it, But right there in Jeremiah 5 and 22, it talks about the fact that the Lord Yahweh Shai has placed a certain, or given Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man, a certain period to rule. And with that came an abundance of wealth, and a very large sword he is used to dominate the nations on this earth. In fact, let's go into the book of Daniel where this decree was made. This is the book of Daniel 4 and 17. It reads, This man is by the decree of the watchers and by the demand, by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and give it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it, the basis of men. Now, let's go into the AI overview of the word basis so you can understand. Because see, this is where people start to get insulted. They know that the so-called white man is ruling things, and they're proud of that fact. We're superior, we're on top. But then, when we bring up the scriptures that show, you are on top. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai set you on top. He said the basis of man. Now, when you look at the word basis, it means basis is a superlative form of the adjective base, meaning the lowest, most contemptible, or morally degraded. It describes things that are the most ignoble, vile, or deeply lacking in decency, virtue, or honorable qualities. See? So the so-called white man who is proud that he's ruling the earth, and we, as the servants of Yahweh Bashim Shai, who has identified the rulers of the earth, are the ones that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai has placed there, and he described them as a basis. This is who they are. They're morally degraded, they're of the lowest value, and they lack decency or honorable qualities. Sounds like the so-called white man to me, right? In fact, let's go into the book of Job 30 and start verse 5. Because, now here's a picture of Elon Musk here. You think this guy, he's got it all going for him. He's the richest man on the earth by a large margin. Invented all these things. He's about to become the first trillionaire. okay, in the public eyes, so to speak, and it would be hard to convince anybody on this earth that this man in reality came from a cave. Let's go into the history of Esau and who they really are. See, now, you can't accept one thing and not accept the whole thing, you see? God bless the so-called white man, but yeah, he also gave the earth to the so-called white man, who is the basis, the lowest of all men created. It reads, they were driven from among men, they cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed under the nestle, they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. They didn't even have a language, unga bunga. Okay? Take a look at it. I made this animation specifically for this. This is Esau. These are the people that are ruling the earth. This is who they are. It shows you the mighty power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, that he took cave people and now they have SpaceX. Okay? Let's go to the book of Obadiah 1 and start at verse 3 here. Okay? Now I'm going to put a side-by-side view. This is Elon Musk, that proud Edomite that everybody thinks is God. And this man is going to be, the one that's going to be bringing out those inventions, or those things, the MOTB, the brain chip, all that stuff. This man is going to be the man, I believe, through the Spirit behind that, along with a conglomerate of other, super corporations, But this is the man. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So, you could boast if you're like this guy. Okay, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashah. In fact, let me read that again. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Isn't that what they're going for right now? To get amongst stars, space, set up the golden dome, preparation to fight Yahushua when he returns, because they know who's coming back. Okay? But let's go into the book of Job, because Job really goes into, as they have already collapsed the global economy and set up their so-called new world order, it comes with a price. This is the book of Job, 20, verse 18. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. We're going to get back everything that Esau stole from us, all the golds, everything, all the riches, and then some. But continuing on here, it says, because he had oppressed and had forsaken the poor, which is the children of Israel, because he had violently taken away a house which he builded not. We had everything taken away from us violently. Okay? Even our body don't even belong to us in this present society. Of course, the men of the Lord are the exceptions. Okay? Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desire. There shall none of his meats be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. It's not going to work. His new world empire is not going to work. The Lord Yahweh Shemashah is going to destroy it. He's going to let it go. And the world is going to be in some serious distress. But eventually, those lower level cave dwellers, former cave dwellers, Edomites, they're going to rise up. Because the last thing an Edomite wants to be is like a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, or Latino. They don't want to be in the same category as you. You think what do they call it? They're looking to give that, the same money to everybody, or this social credit. Are you kidding? In a society like this, it will never pan out. Continue on, it says, when he's about to fill his belly, power shall cast a fury of his rod upon him, and shall rain upon him while he's eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and coming out of his body, the glittering sword coming out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Yeah, so they thought they were going to be oppressing the people of this earth, in particular the children of Israel. But that's not going to be the case. Although the righteous is going to have a tribulation, the righteous, or the 130 elect, is going to be saved. Plain and simple. The rest of the world, they're going to be catching that full-on wrath, from this devil, Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, who we know as these elites, who call him the shots, So here it is. You see this caveman right here. You see the side-by-side view, Elon Musk. Okay, and many of you will be insulted when I tell you that this man, he comes from these people. Him and these same people, these cave people right here in this animation, they're the same people. That's hard to believe and hard to swallow, right? I'm a racist, right? Or I'm an asshole, right? Great, I'm glad you think that way. Let's continue on. It is drawn and coming out of his body, yea, the glittering sword coming out of his gall tears upon him. All darkness should be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It should go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Nothing is going to go right. It's going to go, oh boy, when they say, when it rain it pours, that's exactly how it's going to be, okay? It's going to be just a mess. It says, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from power, who they call God, and the heritage appointed unto him by power. There it is. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. At the end of the day, all the saints have to have is patience, because we already see the works of Yahweh Shemel Shai taking place as we speak right now. It's just that these elite cave dwellers, former cave dwellers, are about to get their judgment as soon as they've executed their ultimate wickedness on this earth. Lord willing, like was edified, I close by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.